Hey guys, it's Andrea from the Brazilian Futsal Club. Thanks very much for watching this video. It's on the history of futsal. We did have some technical difficulties for our first one, which is why I've recorded this voiceover. And so enjoy as Marcelo, I, and Alvaro talk about the history of futsal around the world.
To copy the soccer, so we used to throw the ball at the beginning of futsal. No, it's not a futsal, you call futebol de salão. Futebol de salão, salão is like the salon from Wild West, is a place, so it's the court, so it's the name, Spanish name. So that they play the same, they bring like the nets from polo, water polo. So they brought for the water polo the idea about the nets, like the size, they measure like 2 meters by 3. They start to play the game. And 10 years after, less than 10 years, like 7 years after, Europe has a problem for the World War II, but South America didn't suffer too much. We didn't participate, and Brazil, Argentina didn't participate and Euro was destroyed in that time. So they are late about this sport, and the South America development more about the sport because they could play. In 54, that's the first state federation was founded in São Paulo. So they organized a federation in São Paulo. In 56 is the FIFUSA. FIFUSA is the Futsal Federation. So it's very important because it's not FIFA, it's FIFUSA. So FIFUSA was in 56. And take time to about the rules, all the sports, all the countries to organize. In 1982, FIFUSA organized the first World Cup. 74 to 92, FIFA tried to check this sport. In FIFA, there is a guy called John Avelange. He was the president, and he knew the futsal, and he tried to get the futsal. Brazil, like he has a lot of political connections, so they tried the sport to be close to FIFA, but FIFUSA was away from FIFA, and they organized themselves the first World Cup in 1982. So this World Cup was in São Paulo. You had like 10 countries.
Questions, you can raise your hand.
You have a question? No? No questions?
No, I think I was just experimenting.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I pressed the wrong button.
The pros, right? Yeah, you can have a question if you ask.
Can you see us?
So,
we're just wondering. Michael and I are listening, but we don't know what's going on.
can you see our screen?
I can see Marcelo, but not Alvaro.
But you can't see the.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah, we can see the timeline. I think I was just pressing it. Sorry about that.
So just so you guys know, I've actually muted everybody just for a little bit because Marcelo's talking. So if you have any questions, just put them in the Q&A, and then we'll answer them.
Okay.
It's also no, don't worry about it. This is our first time doing it, but it's also bandwidth too. So I know that yeah.
Okay, this is our second time on Zoom, so I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah,
okay.
no, it's good.
We'll listen.
Yeah,
no
sorry. No sweat.
So in 82, you had like.
Don't press the screen.
And we have countries like you have Japan, we have Italy, we have Holland. Not just South America teams, but teams from Europe. You have Costa Rica for CONCACAF. It was playing in 82. And Brazil played the final game versus Paraguay. In 85, 3 years after, FIFUSA brought to Spain to play in Euro. So it's very important. They try to make the sport outside South America. So they went to Spain to play the World Cup, and you have 12 teams. In 80, they played a game in Melbourne in Australia. FIFUSA, and FIFA was around. And FIFA saw that now they have 16 countries to play, 4 groups of 4. So sport was increased by numbers, and so FIFA make a proposal to have the development of the sport, because they tried to play indoor using a soccer ball in the 80s, didn't work. And they saw the chance to have the indoor sports. And FIFA make a proposal, and many countries decide to follow FIFA, include Canada. Canada voted to FIFA in 80. So in 89, FIFA organized the first World Cup, by FIFA. And they organized in 89, they changed some rules. They changed the area, the size of the area, but still throw the ball like soccer. In 92, FIFA organized the second World Cup, and it started to make it like the FIFUSA smaller, because the rights to show the game on TV, everything, when FIFA was controlling, they tried to separate, to put away. So John Avelange was the in the 80s. John Avelange was the guy there. He's a former FIFA president. Another guy is the former president Blatter was involved this. So we know that's not maybe money. Probably you have money inside this situation. So nowadays you have FIFUSA, that's the small football salon. So the sport is smaller, and you start to have the futsal. So 89 to 92. So you have this merge. So some games they start throw the ball until 92. 92, you have on different rules. So change the game. Now you pass the ball and the ball is outside. The goalie has more freedom. The area is bigger. So you have FIFA now in 92. And Canada that play 85, 89, 88. Always Canada was a country. Canada didn't play the next FIFA World Cups. So FIFA make the World Cup in 92, go to Spain, go to Guatemala. They went to Thailand in 2012. They are going now in Soviet Union, go Lithuania now this year. So always FIFA is going around to make the sport popular. And of course, FIFUSA is still around, like in Canada, but the sport is more popular as a futsal. Normally the guy that play futsal, he's not playing the football salon, the FIFUSA. He's playing just the futsal. So majority of the leagues are futsal. And we are following the FIFA because FIFA is the sport. Futsal is a sport on FIFA. And you're following the futsal is bigger in Brazil. Majority, I'm going to say it's difficult to find a player that don't play. If they play indoor, he play futsal. He doesn't play the FIFUSA mode. So he play futsal. It's more attractive as a game. Was the question over? I don't have you.
And then you correct me if I'm wrong in this timeline that we are talking with everybody. So before futsal, we had the idea of futsal or create futsal comes from Uruguay during the 20th. Is that right?
Yeah, the 20 to 30, the idea to play indoor.
Because Uruguay won the World Cup in 24 and 28.
Olympic Games.
Olympic Games, sorry. Okay. So the Olympic Games in 24 and 28. Yep.
Yeah, that's why they host the World Cup in 1930, because it was very popular sport, soccer. But they didn't have...
And then we had a lot of people trying to play soccer. They brought this game indoor, and then they start to organize the rules. That's where the Brazilians participate at that moment. And then we were the first nation to organize the rules, like England did with soccer back in the days. We did with futsal back in the days as well, but during the 30th. And then after that, we had FIFUSA. And then there was a time in this process where there was a sort of a vote where all the confederations around the world, they vote not to follow FIFUs anymore, but to follow FIFA.
Most of them, no everybody, but most of them, majority to follow FIFA.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
Canada, it was one of them. And
Okay.
Charlie Cuzeto, who was in the meeting, he's
And CSA, yeah.
CSA, for
So,
CSA, he's responsible for
but
business.
just to be clear, from that time on, like when there was that vote, most of the countries decide to follow FIFA, what we have right now in the world. FIFA controls football, futsal, and beach soccer. So those are the basically three sports that they organize globally. But Futebol Salão itself is still happening, still exists. Organized by FIFUSA doesn't exist, but we have AMF, which is the World of Futebol Salão organization. Association, actually.
Mundial Futebol Salão.
So we have the two sports happening right now. So we have Futebol Salão and we have futsal organized by FIFA.
But
that's where we are right now. So we, Brazilian Futsal Club, we play under FIFA's rule, which organize futsal, soccer, or football, and beach soccer. So that's where we are right now. Am I right?
Yep.